Friendship breakups suck. This is gonna be tough for me. My mom collaborated with a networking partner of hers named Amelia to write this book. This is the Female Friendship Guide. It's a no-holds-barred guide to celebrating, navigating, and strengthening your female friendships. And it couldn't have come at a more perfect time for me, because while this book was in development, they actually interviewed over 100 women across Canada to find out their thoughts and feelings, which essentially collaborated to make this book. And I was one of the participants in that survey, as well as some of my friends. I was at a place where I was very secure in my friendships. I knew what I expected of my friends. They knew what they expected of me. I felt that we were all in a good place. I think I filled out that survey maybe when I was 24, going on 25. And I'm 27 now. The chapter that I would like to talk about or talk through today, so that we can go through some questions, is chapter 7. Is it time to break up? And the first line says, it's a fact of life that the closer we get to someone, the more vulnerable we are to potentially getting hurt. And boy, let me tell you something. At the end of each chapter, there is a key learning section, as well as some discussion questions. I'm gonna answer the discussion questions so that I can talk through the friendship breakup that I am experiencing in my life. I don't know why I'm so nervous. The first discussion question is there a friend that you were considering breaking up with? Absolutely. Most recently, I had a friendship breakup. I'd say the catalyst for this started in about 2021. The final decision was made sometime last year, and I've actually taken further steps to remove that person from my life this year. It was a tough decision for me because this was a long-term friend, someone that I've known since I was in diapers, and I just felt that the person that she was becoming is not a person that I necessarily want to be around. And oh Lord, I'm doing all this with a just high health. Are we okay, girl? Too long didn't read. My friend essentially chose romantic relationships over the, and it sucked because she was another person who was in my line of forget all these men, we're going to focus on ourselves, be the best versions of ourselves, and then when the time comes, or at least that's what I was thinking. But I noticed that this friend, every time she would enter into a new situationship, meet a new person, things would suddenly change to, she's coming over here to spend the weekend, but it's actually just to really stop for a day or two before she goes to meet up with said person. Not an enjoyable experience, right? And you're probably thinking, well, why would you end the whole friendship off of that? But let's move on to another discussion question. When you consider the list of questions in this chapter, what do you think contributes most to your feeling? Page 78 and 79. How do you feel when you're in her company? Do you mostly feel good around her? I used to. So, like I said, this was a long-term friend. 25 years in the making, and that's nothing to write off right away. Do I trust her? Why or why not? So the reason that I don't trust her is because when I realized that she would put the well-being of my own space in jeopardy, all because of a romantic relationship, that was no longer someone who felt safe to me. I am in my own apartment, and this place is sacred to me. I don't, negative energy in this space. I don't like bad vibes in this space. It's not a good time. And having someone who I wasn't comfortable with per se in my space and then overstay their welcome, it makes you feel like, well, maybe this person doesn't care anything about me. And that's not somebody that I need to have in my life on a consistent basis, because I live in a white neighborhood and they will call the cops and I will air everything out because my name's on the lease, not anybody else's. And I'm very, very protective of my space. So no, I do not trust her. Do you feel appreciated by her? Why or why not? I don't know. I would say at different points in time in our friendship, there was definitely moments where we had big, like, come to Jesus moments. I don't know the right word to say, but I know I felt appreciation for her in the past, and I know I have also appreciated her immensely in my past as well. We've been through a lot together. We had been through a lot together. It's no easy feat to make it through all of elementary, middle, high school, university, in different cities, and maintaining a friendship while trying to keep yourself sane. Did I feel respected? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm just going to re-answer this question again, because as I was telling this portion of the story, I realized that I had jumped the timeline, so it doesn't really make sense. So no, I did not feel respected in that relationship, because that current friend, let's call her friend number one, had invited her, love interest to come to my space, and I had suspicions that he used my towel, which, first of all, what the hell? And then secondly, friend number two, my best friend currently to this day, was coming to my place to isolate herself away from the rest of her family because she was recovering from COVID and being away. So I needed my space clear that day, and now I have an overstayed welcome into the morning. My menstrual cycle had started that same morning, immediately upon finding out that someone had used my towel. Where is the respect? Because this is when this is happening, right? During COVID, but 2021. So rules were getting more lax. So it's not like we were in the thick of it type of thing. But I had been, thinking, this is going to be an issue right now. I said what I need to say because I'm the type that writes a letter. And she understood that she messed up. So I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be it. Fine. I don't hear from her. 3 months. We went to a concert. And we had a good time. My mom gifted us those tickets. But I managed to show up for the time that she asked me to show up for. Everyone else pulled up an hour late. I am a chronically on-time person. Can't help it. But then when the concert is over and I'm chatting with people, I'm now getting phone calls saying, oh, where did you go? I've been in the same place. Where did you go? So fast forward another 2 months from that, 5 months out from the initial incident. I go out for a girls' night. It was a good time. These are girls that are friends of friends, but they have become close to me as well. And we start chatting about the stuff that's going on in our lives. And all of a sudden, 1 + 1 is equaling 2, and 2 + 2 is 4. And apparently, the person that was in my house was not just seeing my ex-friend, but other people. And he's going to call me a liar for saying this, and I don't care. You can feel how you want to feel and address things however you want to address them, but this is what I know, and this is what I've seen. After all this now, I have to tell her, because my chest cannot allow someone to potentially get something they may not want to get, because When you think that you're exclusive with someone, don't you think that you're going to be safe from the things that happen when you don't stay monogamous? So I was compelled to reach out to this friend again and tell her. And immediately following that, I see a tweet. And I'm not going to get into it because it's going to make me angry again. And you can see because I'm rage smiling. But essentially, it made it very clear that she didn't care. And that is totally fine. You can do what you want. But I don't have to stay. I refuse to believe that you think so low of yourself that being with someone who doesn't even want to be with you wholly is okay, because everyone deserves someone like that in their lives. I deserve it. You who's watching this deserve it. Everybody deserves it. And I just can't be beside someone who thinks that this is okay. It's not okay for me. And I will never feel like it's okay. I'm going to move on to the next discussion question because there's quite a number of questions that you could read in here, but I don't want this video to be too long. Beneath the reasons why you're considering a breakup, what are the feelings that you are experiencing? I'm feeling a lot of hurt. This happened 2 years ago almost. 2 years, almost a month away from today. And at first, it seemed like it was going to be one of those things where give each other space for a little while and then things turn out okay. Then it continued into 5 months. Then no contact until my birthday. Then contact on her birthday because I'm reciprocating. And my biggest thing is, why couldn't there ever have been an actual apology that meant something? Knowing what we know now, why didn't you feel like you could reach out? Why was I not worth why was I not worth a continuation? Because I would have figured out a way to let this go and move forward if you had just acknowledged what went wrong. But now it's been too long. Like, I can't unsee the decision to completely cut me out. I know that some people like the idea of once you apologize for something that you did wrong, that's the last time that you need to apologize for it. However, I also like a brand of accountability. It means that you actually acknowledge what you did wrong and then work on steps to rectify things going forward. I know that, like, I'm not as important because I am a long distance friend now. And that's fine. But I missed you. I really missed you because when all of this went down, I thought, man, this is my friend who has told me to stand up in the face of way less. And you're going to let this man take over your agency, your independence, your, boss babe mentality. Like, you're so much stronger than the people that you let into your life. And if I feel that way about you, and I know that about you, why wasn't I good enough to have conversations with after that? So the final discussion question is, after reading this chapter, are you more certain of the breakup, or do you think the friendship can be repaired? So let me tell you a little bit about the aftermath of this story. Obviously, I was very upset. My best friend is coming in, and I'm thinking, I have to tell her. She's already mad suspicious. That girl is intuitive as hell, but she was on a plane, so she couldn't ask me no questions. So, luckily, this is my girl. This is my road dog, right hand duck, okay? And she said, what's going on? And I unleashed after she got all her stuff off her chest. And while she wasn't necessarily surprised, she wasn't happy. My bestie's like, what is wrong with this girl? What the heck is wrong with you? Is basically what she said. But I never told my parents about it for a long time. I didn't tell my mom until the beginning of this year, because I didn't think it was going to take this long to get it over with. But it did, and we're here now, so okay, right? So, like, the reason why I told my mom is because she sent a photo of the two of us, throwback photo, and it was wonderful. It was so cute, but seeing her just reminded me that this is not my friend no more. And so throughout the rest of this year, I've been sort of, working through my issues. I've done a lot of different things this year. I quit my job 6 months ago now. I got paid content for the first time in my life. I decided to bet on myself, and I've been flourishing in ways that I never even imagined, and I still fell into a depression. And I was like, this doesn't make any sense to me. I've been working through all of my work stress. I've been working through all of my, personal stress and figuring out ways to cope that make sense. But why am I sad? The whole month of July, sad. August, sad. September, super sad. I was at my friend's wedding, bawling my eyes out. And I was at a friend's wedding, bawling my eyes out. I was at a different friend's wedding, bawling my eyes out. Let's call her friend number 3. Sad as hell. It was a beautiful wedding, so I was bawling for 2 reasons. But I'm just like, what is wrong with me? And I realized that it was because I was still dealing with a friendship breakup. I've dealt with romantic breakups, and they suck too. But nothing sucked more than breaking up with his friend. And she reached out to me on my birthday, and I was like, dang, why would she do that? Because I haven't heard from her in 7 months. What happened? And then she reached out again, maybe 6 weeks later, mid-August, I'm thinking. And I was like, yo, this is weird, because you know what was happening? I was writing in my journal. Her ears must have been burning. I was writing in my journal, and I was getting all my thoughts out. And I was like, oh, I'm snapping. I came to conclusions. I figured stuff out. I was like, this is going to be a good thing for me. I'm going to figure this out, and we're going to be so much better after this. And then my mom said one thing, and it sent me down a spiral. She said, well, now that you figured out what was hurting you, I think this will be a good time to reconcile. I said, wait a whole minute. Because you know what happened? The following day is when I received that message. I was like, oh, somebody's trying to sabotage. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I didn't want it. So, past few months since then, I've been rebuilding myself, because the sadness, the lackadaisical feelings, the depression, all of it was just hitting me hard. And we're going to get into it in another video. about that side of things. But I realized that this was the one thing that was really sending me every time that something happened. And I was like, no, I need to talk about this. So here we are. Thank you, honestly, so much for watching and listening to my story, because I feel that friendship breakups and female friendships are such an important topic as we go through the mid to late 20s, because this is when you really decide, like, you're no longer proximity friends. These are friends that you choose to have in your life intentionally. And I'm going to talk about it a bit more. I want to talk about it a bit more and go through some of my thought processes and hear some of yours. I would love to hear in the comments if you've gone through a friendship breakup and if you're considering one, because sometimes you're not sure if it's the right time, but if it is, I definitely want you to read the book, because it's a bunch of women, 20s to 70 years old, and they had a launch party two weeks ago at the time of filming this, where me and my best friend were actually there for the first session, and we're listening to women who are generations above us talking about some of the same dialogue and discussion around female friendships that me and Bessie have been having for years. And for us, it was so fascinating because it's like, this is an ongoing trope, this is an ongoing expectation, and when does it end, you know? So I definitely recommend you guys to read the book. The link to the actual book is in my bio. It's available on Amazon. But if you're local in Toronto and know my phone number and you want to reach out and get one, I can hook you up. So, Female Friendship Guide, out now. And thank you guys, honestly so much for listening. Like, you don't know how much this means to me. I'm testing out a new format for my videos. Let me know if this works for you, because if it does, subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to be on here a lot more. I'm sorry for my break, but I needed it, and you guys don't know how much I look forward to coming back here every time. YouTube is such a welcoming space for me that I'm looking forward to sharing more with you guys. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. Captain Widescreen is out.